Every shadow hides a story. Every creak is a whisper from the unknown. Welcome to Haunted Gully, where nightmares come alive.
I never thought I'd have to tell this story. Even now, I feel like putting it into words will make it more real. Like I'm inviting something terrible back into our lives. But I need to get it out. I need someone to believe me. It started with my cousin, Arav. We grew up together. He was the kind of guy who was always looking for something more, something hidden, something thrilling, something that most people would never dare to explore. He wasn't reckless, but he was curious, and that was just as dangerous. At first, it was harmless. Arav loved riddles, puzzles, secret passages in old buildings. But as we got older, his curiosity turned digital. He started messing around with hacking, encryption, and the dark web. Not for anything illegal. He just wanted to see what was out there. One night, I got a call from him. "I found something," he said. His voice was low, almost a whisper. I sighed, half expecting some new conspiracy theory or creepypasta he wanted to share. "Yeah? What now?" "This is different," he said. His tone sent a chill through me. Arav was always confident, always excited when he found something new. But now, he sounded hesitant, scared. "What is it?" "I can't explain over the phone. You need to see it." I hesitated. "Arav, if you've gotten yourself into something shady, just come over." I should have said no. When I got to his apartment, the first thing I noticed was how dark it was. The only light came from his laptop screen, casting eerie shadows across his face. His eyes flicked to me for a second before turning back to the screen. He looked pale, drained. "Dude, what's going on?" I asked, shutting the door behind me. He clicked a video file on his screen. "Just watch." At first it was static. Then flickering, grainy footage appeared. It looked like an old security camera feed. Black and white, slightly distorted. A small, bare room. In the center, a man sat tied to a chair. He was middle-aged, thin, and shaking. A dirty rag was stuffed in his mouth, and his eyes darted around frantically. A figure wearing a mask. It wasn't like a movie villain's mask, no polished, terrifying design. It was crude, handmade, a burlap sack stitched together with uneven black thread, with 2 jagged holes for eyes. It looked almost childish, like something put together with no regard for symmetry or design, and somehow that made it worse. The figure moved slowly, deliberately. They circled the chair like a predator, tilting their heads slightly, not out of confusion, but out of amusement. Then they pulled something from their pocket, a small, thin blade. They didn't stab or cut. They just traced it along the man's arm, testing, teasing. The man flinched violently, muffled screams escaping through the gag. And then, the masked figure looked up, looked right at the camera, looked right at us. The feed cut to black. "We saw you too." Silence. Arav's breath was shaky. He swallowed. "I think they saw me." "That's not possible," I said. But I wasn't sure anymore. He pulled up the page where he had found the video. It was gone. No trace of it. He refreshed, checked the logs, tried to retrieve cache data. Nothing. As if it had never existed. Then his screen flickered. A pop-up appeared. "We saw you too." We both froze. I felt a cold wave wash over me. "What the hell is this?" I whispered. Arav's hands trembled as he tried to close the pop-up, but another one appeared. "Leave this alone." Then his laptop shut off, and the lights in the apartment flickered out. For a second, we just sat there, in total darkness. The only sound was our breathing. Then my survival instincts kicked in. I grabbed my phone, I turned on the flashlight, and said, "Screw this, I'm leaving." Arav didn't argue. He was already yanking the power cable out of his laptop, stuffing it into his backpack. I'd never seen him that shaken. Before I left, I looked out the windows. The street outside was empty, no cars, and no movement. But I swear, in the shadows across the road, I saw someone standing there, watching. Arav stopped talking about it after that night. He refused to discuss the video, the messages, anything. He changed completely, became paranoid, withdrawn. He triple-checked his locks, covered his webcam, stopped using his laptop altogether. Then a few weeks later, he disappeared. No warning, no goodbye. I went to his apartment and found it completely empty. The landlord said he had moved out suddenly, left no forwarding address. His phone was disconnected. His social media accounts were wiped. It was like he had never existed. I tried to track him down, but there was nothing. No digital footprint, no records of him renting a new place. It was like he had just vanished. And then one night, I got an email. No subject, no sender. Just a single sentence. Stop looking. That was a year ago. I haven't tried to find Arav since, but I still think about him. I wonder if he's alive, if he's safe, or if they got to him. And sometimes, late at night, I feel like someone's watching me too. The end.
The story may have ended, but the darkness never rests. Subscribe and let the nightmares continue.